Recording in progress.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. May peace be upon all of us. Sawadee-krap. His Excellency, Dr. Honoris Causa Hastowardoyo, Medical Doctor, Obgyn Specialist and Consultant, the Chairman of National Population and Family Planning Board of Republic of Indonesia. His Excellency, Mr. Prapan Tisyatat, the Ambassador Designate of the Kingdom of Thailand to the Republic of Indonesia. His Excellency, Mr. Rahmat Budiman, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Indonesia to the Kingdom of Thailand and Permanent Representative to the UN ESCAP Bangkok. The Honorable Professor Muhammad Rizal Martua Damanik, PhD, Deputy for Training, Research and Development of BKKBN. Honorable Director for Southeast Asian Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Republic of Indonesia. The Honorable Madam Kanokwan Tarawan, PhD, Senior Lecturer of the Institute for Population and Social Research, Mahidol University, Thailand. Our distinguished Mr. Pandu Pradana, ST MPA, from the Center for Planners Development, Education and Training, the Ministry of National Development Planning. Our guests from the Embassy of Thailand to Indonesia, Madam Siri Chada and Mr. Ben. All BKKBN dignitaries, both central and provincial offices, ministries, universities, civil societies, organizations, mass media, distinguished guests, colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we would like to convey our gratitude to all of you for finding your time to visit this event. Allow me to welcome all of you to the event of Ambassador Talks today, a friendly talk with the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Thailand to Indonesia. My name is Ukik Kusuma Kurniawan. I'm the head of Center for International Training and Collaboration at the National Population and Family Planning Board of the Republic of Indonesia, or BKKBN, and I will be the master of ceremony for this event. But before we start, we would like to check whether you can see and hear our voice from your place. If yes, would you please kindly give us a thumbs up response like this? Can you see or hear us? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your feedback. If there is something trouble with the voice, please let us know through the chat box. In case of any technical issues, please give us a signal in the chat box. We will try to help you resolve it quickly. His Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's event, namely Ambassador Talks, a monthly event initiated by the Center for International Training and Collaboration of BKKBN, or PULIN. This event aims to showcase and disseminate the Bangga Kencana program, stands for Pembangunan Keluarga, Kependudukan, dan Keluarga Berencana, or Family Development, Population, and Family Planning Program to our foreign counterparts, and to explore potential collaboration between BKKBN and the government of Indonesia with its foreign partners. Before I hand over the session to our moderator today, we have few housekeeping information regarding this sharing session. First, today's webinar is also broadcasted live on YouTube. Second, participants could submit text questions to our guest speaker through Slido link provided in the chat box. We will collect and address them during the Q&A session. Third, please do not forget to put your name and your organization and to whom your questions be addressed to. Fourth, the link of attendance to get the e-certificate and materials of this event will be shared at the end of the session. At this special event, we also have door prizes for 5 lucky winners who show active participation during this webinar by asking questions or sharing comments on Q&A Slidos. So ladies and gentlemen, please be prepared to join the whole agenda. His Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, we would like to take a picture of all participants of this webinar for our documentation report. We would like to request all of you to kindly open up your camera screens and turn on your camera from your laptop or computer. We will take a countdown from 3, 2, 1, action. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, would you please be prepared? We will take a photo session together. There would be around 200 participants. So there will be around 4 slots for taking picture. Yes. Shall we start now? Yes, please be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2, 1, action. Thank you very much. For the second layer now, please be prepared. 3, 2, 1, action. Thank you very much. For the third layer, please be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2, 1, action. And lastly, the fourth layer, please be prepared. 3, 2, 1, action. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin with, we would like to request the honor to invite the chairman of National Population and Family Planning Board of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Bapak Dr. Honoris Causa Hastowardoyo, Medical Doctor, Obgyn Specialist and Consultant, to give his welcoming remarks and officially open this event, which is in this occasion will be represented by Professor Rizal Martuada Manik, PhD, the Deputy Chair of BKKBN Indonesia. Bapak Profesor Rizal Martuada Manik, PhD, the floor is yours. Okay.
Thank you, Pak Uki. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, may peace be upon all of us. His Excellency, Mr. Prapan Desyatat, the Ambassador designed for the Kingdom of Thailand to Republic of Indonesia. His Excellency, Mr. Rahmat Budiman, the Ambassador of Indonesia to the Kingdom of Thailand, and also a permanent representative to the UNSCAP, Honorable Director for Southeast Asian Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, distinguished Madam Dr. Kanokwan Tarawan, PhD, the Institute for Population and Social Research, Mahidol University, Thailand, Mr. Pandu Pradana from the Center for Planners Development, Education and Training, the Ministry of National Development Planning, all BKKBN dignitaries, both central and provincial offices, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, media, and ladies and gentlemen. So on this occasion, allow me to first praise the Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, for His blessing and grace so that we can gather here for this Ambassador Talk event. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to His Excellency Mr. Prapan Disiatan, the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Thailand to the Republic of Indonesia, and His Excellency Mr. Rahmat Budiman, Ambassador of Indonesia to the Kingdom of Thailand, and also Permanent Representative to the UNSCAP, for their support and participations, as well as to Dr. Kanokwan Terawan, PhD from the Institute for Population and Social Research, Mahidol University, for taking the time in sharing knowledge and exploring future cooperation, especially in the field of family development, population and family planning, and of course, to all of the people who have participated and organized this event. So on behalf of the National Population and Family Planning Board of the Republic of Indonesia, I'd like to convey a warm welcome to the Ambassador talks with the Royal Thai Embassy on the theme, Gender Perspective in Sexual Health, Family Planning and Reproductive Health, Sharing Experience and Policies from Thailand. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the smallest unit in the society, namely the family. Families are affected by economic, social, mental health, and limited health facilities, where families are haunted by fear and anxiety when assessing health facilities during the pandemic. International Conference on Population and Development, ICPD, in Cairo in 1994, presented the human rights recognized under international law, one of which was about the recognition of reproductive health rights. Gender equality in reproductive health is the family's responsibility in terms of decision-making regarding the numbers of families, birth spacing, and time to have children, as well as making decisions on the choice of contraceptive method to be used. It must be discussed with the partner in advance whether the husband or wife will use contraception. The existence of the male involvement in the family planning program, namely vasectomy, is one of the efforts to increase the participation of men in contraception as part of the family planning program. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, when many women and families tend to cope with stress, and these serious issues needs more attention from many parties or stakeholders, including the government. And there are 12 reproductive rights formulated by the International Planned Parenthood Federation, or IPPF, in 1996. And among others, first, the right to live. Every woman has the right to be free from the risk of death due to pregnancy. Second, the right to free choice and security of the person. Every individual has the right to enjoy and control their sexual and reproductive life. Every pregnancy is wanted. Third, the right to equality and to be free from all forms of discriminations. For the right to privacy, the right to freedom of thoughts, the right to inform and education, the right to health care and health protection, the right to the benefits of scientific progress, the right to freedom of assembly and political participations, and the right to be free from torture and ill treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, BKKBN, together with line ministries or institutions, attempts to implement those rights into 8 family functions in terms of parenting styles, namely religious function, socio-cultural, love, protection, reproduction, socializations, and educations, economy, and environmental development. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we hope that through these ambassador talks, new ideas, innovations, and subsequent policy steps in reproductive health and family planning will be obtained, as well as possible collaboration between BKKBN and the Kingdom of Thailand. May God Almighty always bless us all with success and good health. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Bapak Profesor Rizal Martua Damanik, for your kind remarks and officially open this event. His Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we are coming to the discussion session, which will be moderated by Bapak Pandu Pradana ST MPA. He serves as a policy analyst from the Center for Planner Development, Education and Training, the Ministry of National Development Planning, or Bappenas. He graduated from Bandung Institute of Technology, majoring in Civil and Environmental Engineering in the year 2008. He obtained his Master of Public Affairs at Indiana University, Bloomington, Indiana, United States of America. To Bapak Pandu Pradana, ST MPA, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Ruki. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. May peace be upon all of us. His Excellency Bapak Hasto Wardoyo, Chairman of National Population and Family Planning Board of Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Prapandis Jatat, Ambassador Designate of Kingdom of Thailand to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Rahmat Budiman, Ambassador of Republic of Indonesia to Thailand, Honorable Professor Rizal Martua Damanik, Deputy for Training, Research and Development, BKKBN, Republic of Indonesia, Honorable Dr. Kanokwan Tarawan from Mahidol University, Bangkok, Thailand, Honorable all dignitaries of BKKBN, both central and provincial office, Honorable Mr. Ben and Ms. Sirik Chada from Royal Thai Embassy, Jakarta, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of State Secretariat, Ministry of National Development Planning Agency, universities, civil society, organization, media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ambassador Talk. My name is Pandu Pradana. You can call me Pandu. I will take this opportunity to moderate this following session of Ambassador Talk today. Very happy to join this Ambassador Talk and hope all of you have a good Monday. It's the last week. We're also expecting Eid Mubarak next week. So please pay attention on this Ambassador Talk. It's a good one today, so please enjoy it. And don't forget to also put your question on the chat box. There's a Slido link on there, and you can put all the question on the chat box. Okay, firstly, we would like to request the first speaker, former assistant professor in International Islamic University Malaysia and also Monash University Australia, professor at Agricultural Bogor Institute, IPB University, and also Deputy Chairman of National Population and Family Planning Board of Republic of Indonesia for Training, Research and Development, the Honorable Professor Rizal Damanik, to deliver his presentation on gender perspective, sexual health, family planning, and reproductive health in the Indonesian experience. Bapak Professor Rizal Damanik, the floor is yours. You have around 20 minutes, Professor.
Okay. Right. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. May peace be upon us all. So, His Excellency, Mr. Prapandis Jatat, the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Thailand to Republic Indonesia, His Excellency, Mr. Rahmat Budiman, Ambassador of Indonesia to the Kingdom of Thailand and Permanent Representative to UNESCO, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, media, and ladies and gentlemen. So in this occasion, allow me to present a presentation with the theme Gender Perspective in Sexual Health, Family Planning and Reproductive Health, sharing from Indonesia. Next slide, please. So I divided my presentations into 3 subtopics. First, I'll talk about the gender equality, reproductive health, and family planning. Then I will discuss about Thailand alumni, ongoing and upcoming students from BKKBN exposure. And later, I would also like to talk about the potential collaboration between Indonesia and Thailand. Next slide, please. So I divided the landmark of population and family planning in Indonesia into 4 phases. The first phase was the pioneering period, which was on 1950s to 1966. In this period, the existing law prohibited the spread of family planning ideas. The second phase was the involvement of the government in the population and family planning program. It was in 1966 to 1970. And with the initiation of the new order in March 1966, population problem became a main focus of government concern. The government embarked upon its family planning commitment in 1967 with 2 main goals: to improve the health of citizens and to address rapid population growth and engender economic progress. In October 17, 1968, the National Family Planning Institution was established as a semi-institution. The third phase was the implementation of population and family program in a centralized system. This period is from 1970 to the 2003. And during this year, it was marked by the formation of a National Family Planning Coordinating Board, or BKKBN, as a full government institution. The fourth phase was the implementation of population and family planning program in a decentralized system, which was started from 2004 until now. Next slide, please. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, BKKBN organizational structure according to BKKBN regulation number 11 year 2020. And in brief, there are 34 BKKBN for officials offices across Indonesia. But at the national level, BKKBN headquarters comprises 5 deputies or director general levels, as you may see in the slide, namely Deputy for Population Control, Deputy for Family Planning and Reproductive Health, Deputy for Family Welfare and Family Empowerment, Deputy for Advocacy, Mobilizations and Information, and the 5th is Deputy for Training, Research and Development. Next slide, please. So on the course of BKKBN is to build resilience and welfare among families. Therefore, BKKBN embraces its program implementation according to the human life cycle approach. The stages are fetus, neonatal, infant, school-age child, adolescents, adult, and elderly. BKKBN has a specialized program made for each stage of the life cycle. BKKBN has a program namely BKB. In Indonesia, we call it as Bina Keluarga Balita. It is an early childhood development holistic and integrative program. Another program is for family living with the elderly, or BKL. Further, to increase the family income, we also develop family economic empowerment program. And lastly, BKKBN has also a program for youth, what we call it as a BKR, Bina Ketahanan Remaja, and Center for Youth Information and Counseling. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, as we may aware that our institution, BKKBN, has established since June 1970 as a government institutions bring the mandate to reduce population fertility and to create prosperous families. Subsequently, BKKBN managed reproductive health programs as a long-run investment from inside the womb to the lives of the elderly, where even before they are born. BKKBN plays a role in the upstream level prior to the incident of stunting, anemia, malnutrition, maternal mortality, and infant mortality. So, the BKKBN works to prevent malnutrition, stunting, and anemia. Therefore, it is essential to prepare for the first 1,000 days of life. In real field, those kinds of BKKBN programs are translated into several group activities at the local community in every village, namely group activities of families with children under 5 years old, or BKB, Bina Keluarga Balita, families with adolescent, or BKR, Bina Keluarga Remaja, including planning generation of genre, families with elderly, or BKL, and income generating activities groups, or UPPKA. Next slide, please. So reproductive health is a part of the 8 family functions within BKKBN program. Namely, first is religion, is a basic need for human being. Family becomes the first and primary institution to nurture religious values for their children, as well as the family puts the identity of any religions for each of their children soon after they were born. Second, social and cultural. Family is a place where every member of it receives equal opportunity to exercise, learn, and adopt cultural values of the nations. Third, love. A family is a circle emotional bond among its members to share love and affection to yield a unity within a society and nation. Fourth, security. Family becomes a vehicle for its member to protect each other and create emotional warmth among the members. A fifth, reproductive. Family ensure all reproductive stages of each member are occurring within a good health conditions and well planned so that the family can produce healthy, qualified offsprings. The sixth, socializations and education. Family takes role as an education ecosystem, while also create a socializing atmosphere among its members and also with the community. Seven, economy. Every family undergoes into economics or efforts to earn income for a living. A good family should support each other to earn income and manage financial management with respect to the community and laws. And eight, environment. While a family runs their activities, they should take into account the environment preservations for both physical and non-physical environment, as well as micro and macro environments level. Next slide, please. So in the family, gender issues for reproductive health should be the responsibility of the husband and wife. But often what happens are as follows. A working wife has a multi-layer burden of living because she has to take care of household chores at home and responsibility at work. In family planning, husband and wife have the same responsibility in determining the number of the children and the birth spacing of each child. Decision-making in choosing the contraceptive method should be discussed with the partner first. Is it the husband or wife who will use contraceptions? Men's family planning program or vasectomy is one of the efforts to increase the participation of men in family planning programs. The husband support his wife during pregnancy, childbirth, postpartum, and childcare. Next slide, please. So ladies and gentlemen, reproductive health is not only adulthood, but needs to be considered and prepared for children and adolescents beforehand. In certain regions, child marriage practices are quite common. According to the 2018 Socio-Economic National Surveys, or SUSANAS, 1 in every 9 girls aged 20 to 24 get married before the age of 18. The number is around 1.2 million, manifesting the 8th highest number of child marriages globally. So pressure of poverty, lack of education, and to a certain extent, cultural norms contribute to the prevalence of child marriage in Indonesia. One of the problems of child marriage is related to health risks. There will be a high risk for maternal mother who gets early marriage, causing complication when pregnancy compares to adult women. So besides, As I mentioned earlier, it also increases the risk of stunting children. Next slide, please. So currently, some data indicate the remaining reproductive health challenges among adolescents in Indonesia, such as first, lack of guaranteed access to the health information. This may lead by limited access for youth to information, education materials, or might due to the taboo things. A second, for married couple of young childbearing age, the use of contraception is still low, indicating a persistent level of unmet need, especially during the pandemic. Third, birth at a young age causes hypertensive disorders during pregnancy, fistulas, anemia, and causes high neonatal mortality, indicating young women are not ready yet to enter childbearing stages. Fourth, the problem of limited access to health services may lead to high morbidity, especially among young girls, anemia, etc. Fifth, HIV infected, especially among adolescent girls who were get contacted from their partners. Six, as previously stated, getting married before 18 years old, according to Indonesia Development Health Survey in 2017 data, may increase relative risk around 2.5 points higher mother mortality. Seven, lack of reproductive health information leading to premarital sex or unwanted pregnancy. So the condition of the lack of adolescents' reproductive health contributes to maternal and child mortality. Next slide, please. So to prevent reproductive health problems for teenagers, we have the Chatin, Prospective Brides and Grooms program. These programs provides comprehensive knowledge to adolescents as prospective brides and grooms regarding preparation for family life and their role as protective parents, as well as provides reproductive and sexual health knowledge from a young age so that they are expected to avoid risky sexual behavior. One of the efforts to accelerate stunting reductions is to work from the upstream, which from teenagers who will become prospective brides. The two main causes of stunting includes also parenting care regarding nutritional intake and the economic condition of parents who are categorized as poor family. Approximately 53% of adolescents aged 13 to 18 years experience chronic energy deficiency and 48% experience chronic protein based on total diet study data in 2020. Lack of knowledge and poor diet in adolescents will possibly continue until they become parents. So, if the prevention is not done early on, the stunting cycle will continue repeated. This means that stunting is a problem for quality of Indonesian human resource. If stunting rate is high, the younger generation will become a demographic burden, not as a demographic bonus. Young people must be provided with family life preparation. It is important for them to be ready and make planning to create a healthy and prosperous family. Therefore, BKKBN developed a program, namely Genre or Planning Generation Program. The objective of the Genre program is to increase age of marriage, a minimum of 21 years for women and a minimum of 25 years for men. So Genre Foundations is a national and then followed by Genre at provincial, district until sub-district level throughout Indonesia. They become a true partner for BKKBN in disseminating adolescent reproductive health program among their peers. Next slide, please. So since January 2021, President of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo, has mandated BKKBN to coordinate stunting reduction program in Indonesia. Having said that previous trends of stunting prevalence rate has been slowly passing, since then the government of Indonesia has targeted the average decline of stunting prevalence rate account for 3.5% per year until 2024. With this regards, the President of Republic of Indonesia has issued the Presidential Regulation number 72, year 2021, concerning acceleration of stunting reduction of Indonesia. Since then, BKKBN's put priority to running the stunting reduction program with preventive perspective through implementing program targeted to future brides and grooms, or what we call it as CHATIN, calon pengantin. For the CHATIN, or prospective brides and grooms program, the BKKBN has an electronic application for marriage and pregnancy preparations called LC-MIL. This application is a tool for monitoring health and education about marriage, readiness, and pregnancy program. When it is approaching the D-Day for the marriage ceremony, all prospective brides and grooms must carry out an examination 3 months earlier so that the potential for the baby to be born will be detected early by looking at the conditions of the prospective bride and groom. The implementation of this program is under collaboration with Indonesian Ministry for Religion. For getting further information, you can kindly contact us in BKKBN office. Next slide, please. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in this occasion, I'd like to take the privilege to inform that BKKBN and Thailand, through Mahidol University, has a long-standing partnership history in human resource development. Thailand is one of study and training destination for BKKBN employee. Since 1988, there have been about 29 BKKBN employees studying at Mahidol University, consisting of 26 masters and 3 doctoral programs in the field of demography, population and family planning research, populations and reproductive health research, educational management, and public health. This year, one of BKKBN employee from Central Java office has received a scholarship of Thailand International Postgraduate Program, TIPP, for master degree program on primary healthcare management at Mahidol University. We do believe that the graduates have applied their knowledge and contributed for the success of Bangga Kencana program in Indonesia. Therefore, we hope there will be more BKKBN employee receiving scholarship in the near future. It is our dear hopes that in the future BKKBN could extend our welcome in collaborating with Mahidol University and other institutions in Thailand with regard to exchanging visits among both officials and academic experts, research collaborations, jointly conducting any international event, seminar, conference, etc. Next slide, please. So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, last month, BKKBN has implemented a program of Ambassador Goes to Kampung KB in Pangkep District, South Sulawesi Province of Indonesia. This activity is as a follow-up of the Ambassador Talk activity and as an effort to accommodate diplomatic mission and international organization to see the program directly at the village level. 7 diplomatic missions and 2 international organizations participated in this activity. The diplomatic missions were sound various BKKBN activities in the fields such as population data houses, fostering families of toddlers, fostering families of teenagers, building elderly families programs, and others. And in the near future, BKKBN plans to conduct the 2nd Ambassador Goes to Kampung KB, and we hope the Embassy of Thailand could join this event. So this is a slide of the video at the Ambassador Goes to the Kampung KB di Pangkep, South Sulawesi Province. Through these interventions, together we can reduce the stunting rate in Indonesia from 27.7% in 2019 to 14% in 2024. Berencana itu keren, keren is our tagline. Berencana itu keren. So, ladies and gentlemen, from this event, we hope that we could strengthen partnership BKKBN with the Kingdom of Thailand to address gender perspective in sexual health, family planning, and reproductive health issue in Indonesia through a cooperation between the Kingdom of Thailand with the BKKBN and to develop opportunities for joint creation and innovation regarding Bangga Kencana program, education, training, technology, and knowledge. Next slide. So I thank you very much for your kind attention. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Bapak Rizal Damanik, for presenting your presentation. It's a very interesting presentation on gender equality and reproductive health and also family planning. Now we also know that there's 29 BKKBN staff that's also alumni from Mahidol University. That's very interesting. And also lastly, did Royal Thai Embassy went to the South Sulawesi trip. Hopefully Royal Thai Embassy can join the next ambassador goes to Kampung KB next time, Professor. Thank you very much. And lastly, the last slide is aiming collaboration with also Kingdom of Thailand. Hopefully the Kingdom of Thailand also can give the response for collaboration with BKKBN. Thank you again. And Excellency, distinguished guests and participants, we will continue with our second honorable speaker. He started his diplomatic career in 1991 and also completed his PhD in Ohio State University, United States of America. Now we will kindly invite His Excellency, Mr. Ambassador Designate Prapan Disyatat. His Excellency is Ambassador Designate of Kingdom of Thailand to Republic of Indonesia. We are honored to have him as our guest of honor and speaker for today's event. It's our great pleasure to see you, Mr. Ambassador. On this occasion, His Excellency, Mr. Ambassador Prapan Disyatat will deliver keynote speech concerning gender perspective, sexual health, family planning, and reproductive health. His Excellency, Mr. Prapan Disyatat, the screen is yours. You have around 10 minutes, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, His Excellency Dr. Hasto Wardonio, Chairman of the National Planning and Family Planning Board of Indonesia, BKKBN. His Excellency Mr. Rahmat Budiman, Ambassador of Indonesia to Thailand. Professor Rizal Damanik, Deputy for Training, Research and Development Center, BKKBN. Dr. Kunokwan Tarawan, Assistant Professor, Institute of Population and Social Research at Mahidol University. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Selamat siang, Sawasdee krab. First of all, let me say that it's a great honor for me to be joining this event with you from Bangkok today. Technically this is my you could say my first event as ambassador designate to the Republic of Indonesia, and I'm looking forward to starting my posting there soon. Okay, I'd like to thank the BKKBN for organizing this timely event and to provide this unique platform where we can exchange ideas and best practices on the issues that is very important to Thailand and Indonesia. As close neighboring countries, Thailand and Indonesia have enjoyed a long-standing and cordial friendship dating back to the first overseas visit of His Majesty King Rama V to Java in 1871, which was almost 8 decades before we established formal diplomatic relations in 1950. And throughout this time, we have supported each other through many trials and tribulations, particularly over the past 2 years as our countries steered through the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, hopefully, the worst is behind us, and I think that Indonesia and Thailand should refocus our energies to build back better. Thus, human-centered recovery should be at the forefront of our public policies to promote an inclusive, sustainable, and resilient society for the next generation. According to the World Bank report, human capital accounts for 2/3 of total wealth globally. And of course, it can help countries move towards a more inclusive growth. It's a very a key factor of economic development. Therefore, by understanding factors fundamental to human capital, such as reproductive health and family planning, policymakers can design and implement appropriate policies. The impacts of reproductive health and family planning are fundamental and far-reaching beyond the household level. They are intrinsically linked to global issues such as gender equality, education, urbanization, and climate change, and economic growth in general. In fact, President Jokowi stressed the importance of human capital development when he said that human capital development would be key to Indonesia's future. And this vision has been also highlighted in the long-term vision of your Indonesia 2045 vision and echoed in several fora. So today's talk by Dr. Kanokwan on the topic of gender perspective in reproductive health and family planning, which will highlight experiences from Thailand, I think will be a good starting point for Thailand and Indonesia to exchange and discuss best practices and lessons learned on this important topic. Ladies and gentlemen, Thailand and Indonesia share many similar values, and we have close cooperation in a number of issues ranging from political, economic, and social ones. The technical cooperation between Thailand and Indonesia started back in 1961. And in fact, between 2015 and 2020, 134 scholarships were awarded to Indonesian participants, which was worth about 10 million baht or about 4.25 billion rupiah. And this includes short-term training courses, postgraduate courses, trilateral cooperation training programs with other development partners, and also other sub-regional cooperation. I hope that this technical cooperation between our countries can be resumed and revitalized again soon. There are certainly many areas of mutual interest where we can explore further cooperation. And I would like to reiterate Thailand's readiness to work with Indonesia in identifying these areas in order to foster our collaboration, including between our academic institutions. So in closing, I wish to congratulate the BKKBN for organizing this important event, and also thank the Institute for Population and Social Research at Mahidol University and the Thailand International Cooperation Agency, TICA, for their continuing support. I'm confident that you will find today's presentation and discussion enriching, and I hope and I wish you a very successful event. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency, Mr. Ambassador Designate Prapandisiatat, for your insightful and amazing keynote speech. And it's going to be very good for a smooth transition for our third speaker. Thank you again, Mr. Ambassador, for giving the speech lively from Bangkok. Excellency, distinguished guests and participants, I'm going to continue with our third speaker. She has worked in Thailand in the field of women, sexual and reproductive health and the rights for the past 3 decades. She's a woman health advocate and also a gender specialist. She completed her degree in PhD in cultural anthropology from University of California, Santa Cruz, United States of America. So now we will kindly invite Honorable Dr. Kanokwan Tarwan from Mahidol University, Bangkok, Thailand, to deliver her presentation entitled Gender Perspective, Sexual Health, Family Planning and Reproductive Health, sharing experience and policies from Thailand. Honorable Dr. Tarun, you will have 20 minutes time for your presentation. Thank you. The screen is yours.
Thank you so much. Would I have a PowerPoint presentation? Do I share this on my own?
Yes, please, Dr. Tarun, you can
Okay.
share your screen. Is
Okay,
it
I'll do
the
that.
access is
Thank you.
already accessible for the security? Okay, thank you. You can share your screen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pandu, Mr. Moderator. Ambassador Prapan, สวัสดีค่ะ ครับ สวัสดีค่ะ ท่านทูตค่ะ ค่ะ Ambassador Budiman, Dr. Wardoyo, Professor Damanik, and respected participants. I think most of you guys are Indonesians. Probably it's only me and Ambassador Prapan and a few others in Indonesia that are Thai people. I was expecting more Thai people here, but nope, only you guys. So thank you so much. I am so honored to be invited to be speaking on behalf of Thailand. I teach at Mahidol University. Many of you have been my students. Probably some of you are here or are not. But let me begin like this. I listened to Professor Damanik's presentation. I hear out of the things that you do, BKKBN, you've done this in your country, throughout the country. There are things that you do there that are actually exactly the same that we do here in Thailand, right? Namely, for example, you do the first 1,000 days of life. Now, all the BKKBN employees are listening to me, and you know that you have this first 1,000 days of life. We also have the same thing. We call it the first miracle 1,000 days of life. The same thing, right? We also have this life cycle approach. We look at human life from before conception throughout livelihood of a person, right? Throughout elderly age and until death, from birth to death, but even before birth, prior to conception. Professor Damanik talked about a program called Prospective Bride and Groom. This is excellent. This is great. If you're able to really get people to join the program, right? Teach them how to become a good husband, a good wife, a good father, a good mother. If you could really do that, this is excellent. We also have the same thing in Thailand here. But this program is administered through services at hospitals, right? When a pregnant woman comes for ANC at a hospital, then she would be encouraged to bring her husband, her male partner along. And we will have something like prospective bride and groom. We are not able to catch them before they get married. Now, the prospective bride and groom, we are not able to catch them before they get married. But when a woman is pregnant, we encourage the pregnant women to bring their partners, their husbands. So I think you are really ahead of us, that you are able to get the bride and the groom. We're not able to do that. We have been talking about trying to get to the people before they get married, so that we can take care of them, take care of a man, making him a healthy man, making a healthy bride and a healthy groom before they get married, so that we can be assured a little bit more that the conception is then healthy, and we will get a healthy conception, a healthy baby, a healthy newborn. We're not able to do that yet. So this is something we can learn from you so much. And also there are other things that we can learn from you. You have the 8 family functions, which I love. Yeah, you have all kinds of things that you do within your family functions. The love and affection, we emphasize on that too. Family as a protection unit for all people, from early days on in anyone's life, that is great. The one thing that we do not have, but you have, which I like a lot, is religion. In Thailand, people are Buddhists, Christians, and also Muslims. But this is something that we cannot get to them either. But you can do it. You have religion as one of the elements that you have your family in Indonesia does for family members. That is great. So I'm honored to learn all of this. But again, I also have something that I would like to share with you. Share screen. Hold on a second. Let me try to share screen here. Sorry. Oh no. Sorry for this. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I think you all know about this. And if I do this, you're gonna laugh, but I'm gonna let you laugh a little bit. When we talk about family planning methods, of course, we're talking about methods for male client and the methods for female client. And for the male client, of course, there's male condom, there's male sterilization and vasectomy. All of you know all about this, and coitus interruptus. Especially in Thailand, teenagers, male teenagers, young boys use coitus interruptus a lot. We don't really call it contraceptive method, but they do call it, and they count it as one. Methods for female client: birth control pill, birth control injection, birth control patch. Now, and the number goes up. IUD, IUS, contraceptive implant, contraceptive diaphragm. Number still goes up. Vaginal ring, fertility awareness, female sterilization, female condom, and abortion. Now, I'm talking about family methods that are available in the world. Abortion is not a family method in Thailand, but it is in Vietnam. I'm not sure if it is in Indonesia. I doubt that it is. Now, you can see that there are more number of products, of family planning method products for female than for male. Feminists, once, a long time ago, previously, they criticized that, well, maybe this is because the scientists who developed contraceptive methods were male. They were male scientists. That's why they were using the female body to use, to take all kind of this chemical in order to prevent pregnancy. Men and women have sex, but it's the women who would have to do the protection. So feminists didn't like this. They didn't like this. They thought it was male scientists using female body too much. I had that thought too, but then I think I changed. Now I feel like the more products, the better. The more products, that means more choices for women. But I'm not here to talk about number. I am here to talk about the power to use these products, any of these products at all, right? When you talk about pregnancy, you talk about a man and a woman having sex, unprotected sex, right? And when we talk about power between these two, we are not talking about the men's power. We're talking about women's power to use any of these products to protect against pregnancy. A woman's power to protect against her partner's sperms. I mean, read it out loud and clear, or listen carefully. It's not an easy matter for every woman in the world. Not for so many women in Thailand, not for so many women in Indonesia. Although the government might establish an organization like BKKBN, or in Thailand, we have Bureau of Reproductive Health, and we have all kinds of family planning methods available for our people in our countries. And as I said, the more number, the better. The more number, the more. To use family planning method, or I would say contraceptive method, freely, without fear, with confidence, to protect against her unplanned pregnancy. This is a matter that we are not going anywhere yet. We're still here. We're still where we were probably 30, 40 years ago. So I think when we talk about gender perspective, we're not talking about, I mean, we were talking about not having organizations responsible for this nationally. Now we do have organizations. We were talking about having not enough products, not having enough access, sufficient access to sufficient products. But we're not talking about that anymore now. 2022, we're talking about power, which is the issue we talked about a long time ago. I mean, I'm raising this issue for you to think about. When you say the word, when you see the word sex, people have sex, for example, traditionally, we think that the sex leads directly to pregnancy. And when women are pregnant, they become mothers. Is that true? This idea that sex leads to pregnancy and pregnancy leads to being a mother is an ideology. It's been here as long as we live. It's been here a long time ago. It's probably an ancient idea. And in fact, we established an organization, national organization like BKKBN, like the Department of Family Planning in Thailand. We established, reformed our government organization around this idea. True or not? I believe it is true. Before this, for example, the Department of Family Planning in Thailand, all we did for 50 years, we were trying to get people to have only 2 kids per family, because we had to higher and higher rate of population growth 50 years ago. So we were working really hard trying to get people to use family planning method. When people have sex, we prevented them from getting pregnant. That's what we did. That's why we had Department of Family Planning. But then later on, we realized that, when the number of population goes down, it went down a decade ago, probably. I mean, maybe it's the same thing in Indonesia too. Looking at the numbers, I think we have quite similar statistics. We have lower rate of birth, lower birth rate. So we have not had to concentrate on family planning methods anymore. We looked more into health, mother's health, children's health. Many times we call it women's health. Now, new idea came, right? You see, the new idea came. We did not focus anymore on family planning methods, not so much about protected sex, not so much about preventing pregnancy anymore. Time goes by. We talked more about health, women's health especially. So, this reflected in the change of name of our government organization. We changed the name from Department of Family Planning to be Bureau of Reproductive Health. I mean, there's a lot going on under the changing of name. We went from family planning to reproductive health. I think this is a significant move. We no longer focused on the uterus of the woman as a baby factory. We did not look anymore biologically. We looked also on emotionally, psychologically, socially of the women. So we now see better a woman as a woman, not just a female body that would take any chemicals to protect against pregnancy. Now this is an important change. You know, looking at a female body, dumping all the chemicals on their bodies in order to prevent pregnancy. And now looking at women's body as a human body that has the heart that beats. You know, she needs love, she needs hugs, she needs kisses. She's not only there to be a wife and a mother only. So yes, it is reflected in the change of our organization in Thailand. We changed from Department of Family Planning to be Bureau of Reproductive Health. But that's still not enough. Still not enough. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that I do not believe in these red arrows. I don't think there should be any of these arrows here. Sex is an entity in and of itself. Pregnancy is also an entity in and of itself. Motherhood is an entity in and of itself. There is not necessarily to be a link between these three entities. Of course, naturally, theoretically, and practically too, that when a man and a woman have sex, if that is an unprotected sex, it could, I'm saying it could, not that it does in every sex act. It could lead to pregnancy. A sex act, an unprotected sex act could lead to pregnancy, but not all of them. But not all of sex acts would lead to pregnancy. Why? Because we have family planning methods. And I would like to call it contraceptive methods, not family planning, because some people have sex without being in a family. I'm trying to say sexual health here, right? You've got family planning, you have got reproductive health. But I think we are now in the era of sexual health. People have sex not wanting to have children. They may not want to reproduce. That's why I'm saying you can have sex, but then you can have protected sex using contraceptive methods. You do not need to have a pregnancy when you don't plan to have pregnancy. And once you're pregnant, you don't have to become a mother. And that's why in Vietnam, they even use abortion as a means to stop a woman from being a mother. You can give up your child to adoption. You can have an abortion, actually. Now, there are so many things that have changed surrounding the ideology that has been changed. Traditionally, we think that sex leads to pregnancy, leads to motherhood, and we form organizations in Thailand working to provide services to the Thai people based on that ideology. And now that ideology is changed, organizations change too. For example, lately, right, probably in the past year, the law on abortion in Thailand has been changed a bit. I'm saying it doesn't change the whole thing. It doesn't change totally, but it's changed a bit. It allows women and doctors it allows women to have pregnancy termination. It allows doctors, physicians, gynecologists, especially, to perform pregnancy termination for women if the pregnancy is less than 12 weeks or between 12 to 20 weeks if agreed by gynecologists that the pregnancy is a result of sexual assault, of rape, blah, blah, blah. There are details of this law that's been changed. Because of the change in this law, many policies in Thailand have changed. Law enforcement organizations have changed their policy according to this law. Health service institutions, hospitals throughout Thailand have changed their local policies, their institutional policies based on this change of law. Also, Department of Disease Control in Thailand have been working on diseases of all kinds, especially diseases found in tropical areas like Thailand and Indonesia, right? They try to control all kinds of diseases that happen. But then 30 years ago, they began looking at sexual transmitted diseases. Now, on one hand, I think they accepted that people could have sex without leading to pregnancy. A man and a man can have sex, right? A woman and a man can have sex virtually, right? Sex worker. So the Department of Disease Control have been working with people who have sex that does not lead to pregnancy. They provide condoms. They provide education to the people to have sex safely. So I think this is a policy change in Thailand. We did not focus on Department of Family Planning anymore. We changed to Bureau of Reproductive Health, and we boosted up the work of Department of Disease Control to not control only other diseases, but also pay attention to sexually transmitted diseases, like including HIV. So our organizations in Thailand changed their policies according to the ideology that's changed. So I think that's a good thing, but I still feel like there are so many policy challenges that I'd like to point out here. Number one, I would like to say in Thailand, we have now learned so much that we are not talking anymore just only about reproductive health, but we are talking about reproductive health plus what? Plus sexual health and rights. People can have sex whenever they want, as long as it is safe sex. So what is safe sex? We've been talking about people, if they are informed enough, they can have sex whenever they want, with whoever they want. Whenever they want, meaning it could be premarital sex, teen sex. It could be whoever we want, meaning same sex kind of sex, women and women, men and men, women and men, men and women. And when they have sex, they could think about having children or not. And if they would like to have children, how many children do they want? And how many years apart between each child? So like Professor Damanik said, this is the reproductive rights, the kind of rights that we are all talking about is all over the world. The people who went to 1994 ICPD, they all understood that reproductive rights means exactly what Professor Damanik said. And I'm saying it here too. So safe sex means safe from what? Safe from sexually transmitted diseases, safe from unplanned pregnancy, and safe from violence. So as long as it is safe sex, then you can have it whatever you want, as long as you're informed. LGBT sexual health, that's a challenge. Right now, when LGBT, especially the gay people, men who have sex with men, we're still seeing their sex as sex that comes with diseases. And when we look at them, we look at controlling diseases more than actually sexual health, sexual rights. So that's quite tricky there. LGBT reproductive health. Ooh, we always think that people who need reproductive health are real men, real women who are prospective bride and groom, who would get married and have children and get married and reproduce. Sometimes we forget that these people, LGBT people, are people too. They have the heart. And they would like to get to have children too, and they actually biologically can still have children, whether of their own biologically, or they can adopt children, and they have their own reproductive health too. Sometimes we forget about that. Planned pregnancy. We're striving so badly to make this a woman's autonomy. Sometimes we are successful, sometimes it's not, because women getting pregnant, planned or unplanned, still up to so many things, like it's up to the husband's family, it's up to her own family, it's up to the whole society. You get married, you are expected to get pregnant. If you're not pregnant, then you're bad. If you're pregnant with too many children, then you are uneducated. All these kinds of things are this attitude. We are not here to just provide services and technologies and products. We are also here to provide the right attitudes so that people of all kinds of genders, men, women, LGBT, queers, they should all have the same opportunity to sexual health, sexual rights, reproductive health, and reproductive rights. I have this here, the last one, but I'm not going to talk about it unless somebody asks later. Appropriate sex versus inappropriate sex. I think I'm running out of time. So let's enjoy our part of the world. The mango, the papaya salad in Thailand, the durian. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kanakwan Tarawan, for your remarkable and insightful sharing on the Thailand experience, and really love the end of the slide with mango, papaya, and durian. Yeah, everyone, it's very nice. And yeah, once again, thank you, Dr. Kanakwan Tarawan from Institute for Population and Social Research, Mahidol University, Bangkok. And Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go next with our last honorable speaker, graduate from Faculty of Law, University of Indonesia, started his diplomatic career in 1989. Now we would like to present the honor to invite His Excellency Mr. Rahmat Budiman, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Republic of Indonesia to Kingdom of Thailand, Permanent Representative of UNESCO, to deliver his remark entitled Diplomacy, Policies, and Potential Collaboration between Indonesia and Thailand in the field of population, family planning, reproductive health, family development, including stunting reduction. His Excellency Mr. Ambassador Rahmat Budiman, the screen is yours. Silakan, Pak Dubes.
Terima kasih. Thank you very much, Mas Pandu. Professor Rizal Damani, PhD, on behalf of the chairmen of the National Population and Family Planning Board of the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Honoris Causa Hasto Wardoyo, His Excellency Prawan Dishatat, Ambassador Designate of the Kingdom of Thailand to the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Kanakwan Tarawan, PhD, Institute for Population and Social Research, Mahidol University, Thailand International Cooperation Agency representative, and also distinguished participant, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore, sawadikap. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and high appreciation to the National Population and Family Planning Board of the Republic of Indonesia for giving me the opportunity to deliver remarks at this August gathering with the theme Gender Perspective in Sexual Health, Family Planning, and Reproduction Health, Sharing Experience and also Policies from Thailand. Frankly speaking, it is a kind of awkward for me to speak after the prominent expert, namely Professor Rizal Damanik and also Dr. Kanawan Tarawan. However, I do believe that the theme is not only timely, but also very important for both countries, as the issue of family planning and reproductive health are two of the basic human rights, and they undoubtedly have hugely contributed in the increasing of our society welfare and well-being. It is in our belief that family planning and reproductive health are central to gender equality and women empowerment, and they play important role in reducing poverty. However, we have seen many women in developing countries not have access to safe and voluntary family planning and also reproductive health due to the lack of information or services and also lack of support from their partner and communities. This threatens their ability to build a better future for themselves, their family, and their communities. I have attentively listened to the presentations of Dr. Kanawan Tarawan, especially the last part before you close your presentations. And I do believe that you have already shared on the development of the family planning and reproductive health in Thailand very comprehensively. And Thailand experiences and practices in handling those issues for us can be taken as a kind that can be explored and more discussed as an alternative reference for Indonesia, as I do believe that Indonesia has also demonstrated good progress in that regard, as presented comprehensively by Professor Rizal Damanik. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, at these occasions, I will not touch upon the issue of family planning and reproductive health, as I'm not an expert in that area. And we also already have speakers whose knowledge and expertise are unquestionable. Rather, I will talk on an issue of bilateral relation between Indonesia and Thailand and the need to start establishing cooperation in the area of family planning and reproductive health. Diplomatic relation between Indonesia and Thailand was officially established in 7 March 1950. Yet our historical culture links goes many centuries ago during the era of ancient kingdom in the region, particularly when Sriwijaya and Majapahit in Indonesia and Ayodhya from Thailand play important role for trade throughout the region even before arrival of European. As mentioned by His Excellency Ambassador Designate Prapandisayat, that the King Rama V has already visited Indonesia long time ago, namely in 1871, and then 1896 and 1901. So 3 times the series of visit of the King Rama V. And the King Rama VII also has visited Indonesia at the time, in the 1929. The King Rama IX also already visited Indonesia in the early of 1960, and the current King of Rama X already visited Indonesia as a crown prince at the times in 1986. And of course, this kind of the long history between Indonesia and Thailand give us an opportunity to explore all the aspects that can be cooperated between Indonesia and Thailand. I proudly say, and I think His Excellency Ambassador Prapandisayat will also agree with me, that for 70 years of our diplomatic relations, we have been able to achieve tremendous progress in many areas of our bilateral cooperation. In the political sector, for example, Indonesia and Thailand enjoy the solid and strong relation. The close bilateral ties are shown by the high frequency of mutual visit between top-ranking officials from our two countries. The Joint Commission meeting led by respective foreign minister is also living evidence of our continuing engagement and flourishing cooperation in numerous sectors. While in the economic field, our strong and close cooperation is shown by the increase of the total trade volume of both countries amounted at $16.98 billion or rose by 28.74% year on year. Indonesia now places itself as the seventh largest trading partner for Thailand and the third largest trading partner of Thailand in ASEAN. Furthermore, the value of Indonesian investment in Thailand in 2021 last year amounted at $63.2 million and Thailand investment in Indonesia at the same year amounted at $450.3 million. Despite of continuing COVID-19 pandemic, our countries have been able to manage economic growth that hopefully will bring prosperity for our people and to reach sustained economic growth and share prosperity in the region. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, in the socio-cultural relations, we have seen increasing number of people-to-people contact through the implementation of some activities such as student exchanges, joint cultural performances, and various scholarship programs. Professor Damanik also has mentioned that about 29, if I'm not mistaken, from the employee of the BKKBN already studied in Mahidol University. And hopefully this kind of cooperation, the education cooperation between BKKBN and Mahidol University can be formulated in such kind of the memorandum of understanding in the future. I think it will be better for the employee of BKKBN to study in Thailand in that kind of umbrella. And those activities and events are essential so as to develop even stronger and cordial relation and friendship between the peoples of Indonesia and Thailand. Amid the current challenges of COVID-19 pandemic, Indonesia and Thailand also believe on the importance of strengthening health cooperations by pursuing the finalizations of the MOU on health cooperations and MOU in the field of drugs and food control. We are also intensifying the discussions on the need of mutual recognition of vaccine certificates, which is certainly one of the most significant issues this day. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, but it is very unfortunate that we have not yet established an institutionalized cooperation in the area of family planning or reproductive health, bilaterally and regionally. So this is for us is a good time to start on thinking of the possible having this kind of cooperation with Thailand. Taking into considerations the significance of family planning issue for our community and society well-being, I believe it is time for us to start establishing the cooperation and collaboration in this regard, as also underlined by Professor Rizal Damanik in his presentation. Indonesia and Thailand are countries in the regions that have been able successfully managing family planning since a long time ago. Our success stories should be shared so that both countries could learn from each other lessons and valuable experiences. This event could serve as the preliminary step toward the realizations of mutual and formal cooperation in this issue. And distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, rest assured that the Indonesian Embassy in Bangkok will always stand ready to support and lend its assistance so that the cooperation and collaboration between the two countries could be further strengthened for the mutual benefit of our two countries. And I thank you very much. Terima kasih. Sawadee krap. Kakumkap.
Terima kasih, Pak Dubes. Thank you very much, His Excellency Mr. Ambassador Rahmat Budiman, for the insightful remarks. I'm going to continue, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Due to the time constraint, we can only have one question and answer session. And for the next 15 to 20 minutes, I will read the question from Slido. There's 4 questions available and already picked by our team. The first one is from Mr. or Mrs. Ari, BKKBN, Province Bali. The question is for His Excellency, Mr. Ambassador Designated of Thailand, Kingdom of Thailand to Indonesia, Mr. Prapandisyadat. The question is, what kind of policy and strategy does Thailand undertake to reduce population and to promote a prosperous family? That's the first question, everyone. The second question from Mr. Muhammad Farid Wajdi from Ministry of Home Affairs Indonesia. And this question is for Ms. Arwini Hiam from Thailand International Cooperation Agency. I hope Mr. Arwini is still available in Zoom. The question is, BKKBN delivers its program on population, family planning and reproductive health program. Will TICA consider there is a possibility to collaborate between BKKBN and Thailand International Cooperation Agency concerning these 3 main pillars above, family planning, population, and reproductive health? What will be foreseen priority activities? And the next question from Dr. Lilis HMC from University of Indonesia to Professor Dominic and also Dr. Kanakuan Tarwan. The question, is there any best practice for gender equality in family planning, both in Indonesia and Thailand, that we could share? The last question from Dr. Don Lachai, a researcher from Thailand, for Professor Dominic from BKKBN Indonesia. The question is, what is the main barrier between religious belief and male dominance hierarchy for Indonesia to promote sexual health and reproductive health, in example, birth control, delayed childbearing? That's the 4 questions for the honorable speaker. I will invite the first question again for Mr. Ambassador Designate of Kingdom of Thailand, Mr. Prapandisyadat and team, probably Mr. Ben or Mr. Siracha. The question again, what kind of policy and strategy does Kingdom of Thailand undertake to reduce population and to promote a prosperous family?
Thank you.
And also Dr. Kanakuan, probably. Okay, I'm gonna hand over to Mr. Ambassador first.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Let me first be upfront that I'm not a specialist in this area, but as Dr. Kanakuan has already presented before, Thailand used to have a problem. Our issue a long time ago was to focus on controlling population growth, because at that time we felt that we wanted to keep the rate of births in control. But nowadays the opposite is true. Now Thailand is facing more diminishing birth rate. So, what the government would like to incentivize people now is actually to have more babies, which is vital to maintain our economic growth. But at the same time, I still feel that family planning or reproductive health is still important, in that even though we would like encourage people to have more children, it must be done responsibly, and parents have to be ready to become, to bring up their children in a responsible way. So in short, the answer is that now the opposite is true, is that we want to promote more childbirth in a responsible way, and the government is also providing some incentives to do that. Perhaps Dr. Kanakuan can help me with some of the incentives that the government is providing in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. If may, Dr. Kanakuan, you want to add?
Yes. In short, when we were trying to bring the birth rate down, which I am saying this is about 50 years ago. We try to change people's mind, from, we encourage them to have smaller family. Less children will give you better chances in life. We have to change people's mind. In the meantime, we also provided any contraceptive methods available for free. And we had service providers at every single sub-district throughout the country, speaking, campaigning, encouraging people to change their mind and come for contraceptive methods. So 3 things: change people's mind, and that needs campaign, a lot of publication. 2, we made sure that we had the products are available and easily accessible. And 3, we had service providers trained in order to provide contraceptive methods and answer questions anybody had then 50 years ago. And we did this a lot for years and years and years. And finally, we were too successful. The birth rate went down, too steeply. And right now, as Ambassador Prapan has said, we have to do the opposite, try to encourage people to have more children. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ambassador Prapan and Dr. Kanakwan, for your response. Hopefully it answer your question, Mr. Ari or Ms. Ari from BKKBN Province Bali. The next question from Mr. Muhammad Farid Wajdi for Ms. Aruni from Thailand International Cooperation Agency. Again, I'll repeat the question. BKKBN delivers its program on population, family planning, and reproductive health. Would you consider this there is a possible to collaborate with TICA concerning these 3 main pillars above? And what will be foreseen priority activities? Thank you. Mr. Aruni, Ms. Aruni.
Thank you very much, Ka. Thank you for the question. And actually, Thailand and Indonesia, we have cooperation under the technical cooperation for a long time. We also have the mechanism called as an annual consultation on technical cooperation as a forum that we discuss our technical cooperation. But the last meeting was held in 2021 in Jakarta and Thailand. Now it's happy to host the 4th meeting, and we actually seeks for the Indonesian side consideration to have a meeting together, where we send a request on since 2017, but we haven't received any response. But I'm not too sure whether our partner is still be a Department of Asia Pacific and Africa under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia. If that's so, perhaps we can revoke the meeting, and then this issue can be discussed under the technical cooperation between Thailand and Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Aruni. We should follow up with the technical cooperation probably for this program. Thank you once again. And the next question from Dr. Lilis and Dr. Don Lachai, Professor Damanik. You want to answer both questions?
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Lili Harry Miss Cici from University of Indonesia. So the question is there any best practice for gender equality on family planning between 2 countries that we can share? And yes, the Indonesia Demographic and Health Survey series of data have consistently examined this question, who takes decision making to adopt family planning and choose the method of family planning. So this is a good example on how gender equality has been negotiating between married couples in Indonesia. And to some degree, Indonesia society does not merely emphasize particular gender preference. So this is also boosted by better educational attainment across Indonesia nowadays. And so the values of children are examined equally in the basis of understanding that human resources quality plays more important key regardless the gender itself. That is why stunting reduction program is also highlighted by the Indonesia government. Shall I continue with the second? So thanks, Dr. Don Chial from Thailand. So your question is, what is the main barriers between religious beliefs and male dominance in Indonesia to promote sexual health and reproductive health? There used to be, when educational attainment level was still low, old tradition took the mindset among male dominance over the woman roles. But nowadays, more people get better education, and the old tradition were slightly being examined versus modern values that women should be equal with the men in determining their family size, how the couple earn the family income, and other negotiations. And in the old-fashioned beliefs, we heard argument that more children meaning more fortune. But nowadays, again, more people get realized that more children meaning more burdens and obligations, because children need to be raised properly, as the children also have the right for good living. Thank you for questioning us here. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Damanik. For the question from Dr. Lilis, there's still also want to be responded by Dr. Kanakwan. So Dr. Kanakwan, the question from Dr. Lilis is there, if you want to add up, is there any best practice for the gender equality in family planning in Thailand that you could share?
Yes. Yes. If you focus on reproductive health and family planning, you are only talking about men and women. I think right now there are so many programs that encourage men to get involved in reproductive health of their female partners, and as well as their own reproductive health, male reproductive health and male involvement in women's reproductive health. We have so many programs. One of the things that I can talk about, one of the programs that I can mention here is, like I said before, we try to get pregnant women to encourage their male partners to come to ANC, antenatal clinics, 5 times during the course of 9 months of the pregnancy. So these 5 times that the pregnant women have to come to a hospital to get examined, she would be encouraged to bring her husband along. And once the couple are there at the hospital, we give them educational sessions, teach the men to hold the baby, to care for the pregnant wife, to give a bath for the baby, all kinds of things, which I'm sure that you do that too in Indonesia. So I would say that this is something that we try to get the men involved in their own reproductive health as well as women's reproductive health. Probably the best practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kanakwan. And before we close this panel session, is there any additional remarks or comments from probably Mr. Ben and Ms. Siri Raja from Royal Thai Embassy?
Pak Pandu, if I may.
Oh, okay. Mr. Ambassador.
Yes, thank you, Pak Pandu. I just would like to underline what I have already mentioned, that for the time being, we haven't had a kind of special cooperations has been institutionalized on the field of family planning and reproductive health. Yes, as mentioned by Mrs. Aruni, that there is a long time ago, since long time ago, there's a technical cooperations. Okay. Yes, indeed, it is right in the technical cooperation, but in a broad aspect. So between TAICA and also the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And it's already discussed also since a long time ago. And actually, on the mechanism of Joint Commission meeting, there's kind of also discussion on the technical cooperation, okay? But the special cooperation, which is formulated in the kind of memorandum of understanding on a special cooperation on the family planning and reproductive health has not been yet discussed and institutionalized. So I think this is a good start for us by discussing and the possibility to start establishing MOU on this field.
Thank you, Pak Dubes. I think it's a good opportunity to follow up the technical technical cooperation agreement, the existing one, but focusing on more additional cooperation, Pak Dubes, with the Royal Thai Embassy.
Yes.
Focusing on sexual health, family planning, and also reproductive health. Pak Dubes. Thank you, Pak. Okay, any other comments from the panelists? No? Okay. Thank you for all the panelists for answering the question and also excellent presentation and remarks, also keynote. Oh, do you want to, please? Please do so.
Good afternoon, everybody. And on behalf of the Royal Thai Embassy in Jakarta, we would like to thank the BKKBN that reached out to us and invited us to join the Ambassadors Goes to Kampung program. Unfortunately, at that time, we are not able to go, and we hope to take part in the next program. And we would like to reiterate our willingness to help foster the closer relationship between BKKBN and the respective agencies in Thailand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very happy to hear that. Hopefully on the next Ambassador Goes to Kampung KB, Royal Thai Embassy will join. Once again, thank you for all the panelists. Again, it's my pleasure to have all of you with us. And I am Pandu as the moderator. Thank you all very much. And to close this event of Ambassador Talk with the Kingdom of Thailand, I will hand over the session to Dr. Uki Kusuma. I will kindly invite Dr. Uki Kusuma. The screen is yours, Pak. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Pandu, for moderating the session. Ladies and gentlemen, please give applause to our guest speaker and also our moderator. Thank you very much. It is a very fruitful discussion and very interesting to share and exchange various settings and experiences on family development, population, and family planning program between two countries. The discussion is valuable for us to identify future collaboration. Question and answer session also give us more comprehensive situation that is context specific. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, next we would like to invite all participants to join the announcement of 5 lucky participants as the door prize winner. The first winner goes to Muhammad Farid Wajdi from Indonesia Ministry of Home Affairs. The second winner goes to Miss Nining Dwi. The third winner goes to Dr. Lilis Heri Miss Cici from University of Indonesia. The fourth winner goes to Dr. Don La Chai from Thailand Research Institute. And the fifth winner goes to Mr. Oktrianto from Indonesian Research and Innovation Board, or BRIN. He is our first participant joining the Zoom very on time and remain joined until now. Thank you very much. Those lucky participants, please kindly contact Miss Dina from Pulin with her mobile number in the chat box. We will also display this announcement at the end of this event. Now that our webinar is coming to its end, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to our presenter and our guest of honor, His Excellency, Bapak Dr. Honoris Causa Dr. Hasto Wardoyo, His Excellency, Mr. Prapan Disyatat, His Excellency, Bapak Rahmat Budiman, Honorable Bapak Profesor Rizal Martua Damanik, Honorable Madam Kanok Wantarawan, the distinguished Bapak Pandu Pradana, the moderator, and also our guest of honor, Miss Sirichada Tongtan, and also Mr. Ben from Royal Thai Embassy of Jakarta, and also Miss Aruni from Taicha. I may not have any further conclusions since the presentation and discussion are comprehensive and crystal clear. And to all participants, thank you for your participation. We hope this presentation is useful for everyone. As our appreciation of your participation, please grab your e-certificate by filling out the Google form with the link provided in the chat box. See you at the next event. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you very much. Kap kum kap. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Thank you, His Excellency Mr. Ambassador.
Pak Rahmat, terima kasih. Excellency, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for everybody.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can meet Ambassador Prapan as soon as possible before you are leaving to Jakarta.
Yes, Ambassador, I look forward to meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, bro. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take a picture together. Bapak Ibu Pulin, please proceed.
สวัสดีนะคะท่านทูตหนูขออนุญาตออกก่อนค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับขอบคุณมากครับ
ท่านทูตโบดีแมน
Nggak usah mas.
Hello
Kapungkap,
Thank you.
kapungkap,
Thank you.
Dr.
ขอบคุณมาก
Kanowan,
ค่ะ
kapungkap.
ไปแล้วนะคะ
Recording stopped.